Hello, welcome to the Daily Grind here on Latte Firm, Monday, the 20th of October, and Arsenal have edged away in the Premier League title race. Early lead after a gargantuan hate watch weekend. And of course, it's the Champions League that's back at the carpet tomorrow night. Another one of European football's biggest names are going to turn up at the Emirates Stadium to take on Arsenal under the lights. What a game we have in store tomorrow. What a fixture. Loving we've had over the weekend. It's been a fantastic day. Hope you're all well. Hope you've all had a good day at work, at school, at college, or whatever it is that you choose to do. And that extra spring in your step as you go in, knowing the results of the weekend before. It is a fantastic feeling. Welcome to the show. If you're tuning in for the first time, please do, of course, drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and get involved in the chat. And that's where we're going to head first. Karen was here first, says hello. Hope everyone has had a good day and that you are all well. I hope you have had a splendid day, Karen. Welcome to our channel members and Patreon members, of course, as well. So grateful for your support of the channel. Really means the world to me. And I'm fantastically grateful that you guys are all here making time to tune in on a night like this. Dave, hope you're back. Gets better soon. He is, of course, at the Emirates tomorrow. Enjoy the game, my friend. Hope you've had a good day. And Hassa, who says, and here we are, the Latte family. Welcome. Thank you so much for signing up as a channel member just a couple of days ago. Welcome to the community. Lucio says, good evening. Thank you to you, my friend. Viggs, who is at 14_Phoenix. I don't know if StreamYard's doing this funny thing with handles again. Feels like it. Evening, Gooners. What are we saying? The OG versus new Haram Ball, the Berta Derby. Arsenal, of course, defensive powerhouses against Atletico Madrid. Of course, Diego Simeone's defensive powerhouses. A few of us might be nodding off tomorrow. I don't think we will. It's going to be a spicy affair, but you get what I mean. Dave says, got a feeling tomorrow's game is going to be a bit of a grind, bit like the Daily Grind. Hey, Dave? Hey, see what I did there? Title number 14, welcome. The more I read title number 14, the more I believe that it's going to be our year. Isn't it? Vive Vlad says, good evening, FK in the chat. Henke Ho is here as well, saying, let me have it, my night latte. FK, you look stunning, my guy. Thank you. I appreciate you, man. Honestly, you always make me smile. AFC 777 says, ole. And M. Sir Lees says, hope you're doing good. I am good. I've had a lovely day off. I fly away for in a couple of days' time for a week with my family out to get some sun. So I'm looking forward to the game tomorrow, looking forward to the match reaction. And then, of course, there might be a few days where we don't have anything, although I'll try and do some post-match phone-ins. How about that? Asif, welcome. Hope you've had a good day. 433 is in the house as well. Evening, Gooners. You've seen the clips of Gabby Heinze in training. I'm funny you mentioned that. We are going to talk about that tonight. Let's bring up the slides. First up, what a great feeling it is to be, I guess, top of the league, eh? And there's a little bit of distance now between us and our rivals, all of our rivals. It's going to be a very interesting title race. And I've got to say that the performance at the weekend was one that I'm not going to be rushing to rewatch anytime soon. I think you guys saw that. The match reaction video was fairly sort of solid on that. A comfortable day out. And I think that everyone who has rewatched the game has been talking about how easy it was and how, in the moment, it's always nerve-wracking. In the moment, you're 1-0 up and you're trying to grind out the clock. But in the end, we got there. And it's been a really, really good weekend because of that. And of course, yesterday at Anfield and Spurs, the double defeat in the hate watching session, absolutely superb. Nothing much more to say about the game apart from these are those fixtures that caused us pain in the last year, 2 years. And it's important that we've got the win away at Craven Cottage after an international break when you don't know what players are going to come back like, in what sort of shape and form. No new injuries to report either, which is fantastic. Really pleased. Can't say anything more than that. Title number 14 says it's our decade, FK. Believe, he shouts. I hope so. There's a lot of Arsenal fans that think once the first one will come, it'll be like the first domino to fall, and then we'll go on some sort of a title-winning charge over a number of years. Domination, I believe, is the word that you're looking for. Henke says, I'm bringing the good vibes from the grey and rainy Denmark. It is grey and rainy and cold in London as well, my friend. The rain has been sort of floating and pouring all day long. I think it's supposed to be a dry day tomorrow. I'm taking my little boy to the Emirates. I'm going to meet so many of you Patreon members who are snapping up tickets from the chat. Really looking forward to it. But, the weather, could be better. And a happy Diwali to all those celebrating, of course, celebrate around the world. All our Hindu friends, Sikh friends, if you are celebrating the wonderful celebration that is Diwali, I hope you're having a fantastic time with your families. Rory95 says, I want to say it's our year, FK, but I fear Haaland will solo the league with 40 goals. It's possible. The guy's a machine. The guy is a monster of a goal scorer. I live in the comfort of knowing that Erling Haaland always has a significant spell on the sidelines every season. He might miss sort of half a dozen, 8-10 games. And I'm hoping that spell comes soon because nothing at the moment looks like it's going to stop him. He is on a roll. When needed, 44652 says, I want this cup so badly. Presumably you're talking about the Premier League, or you could be talking about the Champions League. Either way, it's one of the big ones that we have to win. Anajit, welcome. Great weekend. Happy Diwali, he says. Dan Smith says, why was Calafiori's goal disallowed? We played a 3 or 4-0 win on the day. I think the Calafiori goal was disallowed because of offside, wasn't it? So really unfortunate. It was an offside from the Trossard first time pass into Calafiori's path. A great finish, and what a player he is. If you want to know more about the match reaction, check out the match reaction video. It's on the channel feed. Very, very popular video indeed. Thank you also for your kind words. Really, really appreciated. So what does it mean for tomorrow? I mean, let's focus on our Ministry of Defence and Gabi Hanse, as one or two of you have sort of mentioned. This, courtesy of our partners, Opta Analysts, show that Arsenal per game defensive stats this season ranked across Europe's top 5 leagues. Goals conceded, the fewest. We rank first. XG conceded, the fewest. We rank first. Shots faced in total per 90. Again, very, very high, ranking second. Shots on target face, as you know, 2 teams now back-to-back couldn't get a shot on target against Arsenal. That is the first time that's happened in the last 20 years, since the Invincibles. Hey, we are second, and XG shots against also second. We talked about it over the summer. You know, the Ministry of Defence, as I like to call it, that Arteta and Berta have cobbled together, letting Tomiyasu go, letting Jakub Kivior go, bringing in the likes of Christian Mosquera, who's been a revelation, Piero Hincapié, who we've not even seen yet, Ricky Calafiori coming back to full fitness, and he's available every week. Miles Lewis-Skelly is just chilling in the background. We've got Jurrien Timber, who keeps playing as if his life depends on it, Mr. Consistent. Saliba and Gabriel, the 2 warriors, the 2 monsters at the back. We are in very, very good shape. Very, very pleased to see it. And listen, you got to say, the mood around Gabi Hanse seems to be really positive. Like in all the training photos and all the stills that you can see, this courtesy of Daily AFC on Twitter, he's having conversations, intense conversations with every player. Doesn't matter if you're an attacking player, a defensive player, a midfielder, or the captain. Heinz is in your face, he's in your ear, he's drilling you with instructions. And I don't quite know the impact that Gabi Heinz has had on our defensive players. And obviously more will come out in the weeks and months that's to follow. I was a little bit nervous when we signed him. He's a bit of a, you know, those of us that remember his playing days, he was a very sort of hot-headed, very passionate, heart on your sleeve type guy. And, you know, I even joked about, you know, he's going to be the first guy to be sent off from the dugouts, but he seems to be having a really positive impact on the players, the coach. All the footage that we see is all very wholesome. So we'll do a deeper dive into the impact of Gabi Heinze behind the scenes. We'll maybe get one or two of our journalist friends to come and join us. But he is, it feels like, is having a very positive reaction. Title number 14 says domination in the location. We need to keep this clean sheet thing going. Listen, we are very, very difficult to play against, very, very difficult to beat, and long may this continue. And there are players in the squad that haven't even played yet. Hincapié won. Norgard made his Premier League debut just at the weekend, coming on for 5 minutes. Another defensive-minded player. We've got Ben White, you know, coming back from injury, hopefully, and he's going to hopefully tuck into that team. Like I say, Calafiori having a proper run at things this season. So we're going to get better. And as a structure, as a unit, Mikel Arteta has coached the hell out of it. There are lots of interviews, lots of praise that Arsenal are getting over the last couple of days about our defensive resilience. Very, very pleased. When needed, has come back to clarify Champions League is the trophy that he wants. Lots of people just agreeing with me saying it was offside. It was offside, and we didn't even need to check VAR. That's how offside it was. 433 says Timber's 1v1 defending is insane. I'm looking forward to Jurrien Timber getting a break, though, my man. I know you would agree with that as well. We've got to be careful about his load. Phoenix says game week 19, if we keep the number of goals conceded fewer than 8, I'm going to start moving crazy, I can't lie. For now, I can't say we break that record. Chelsea, of course, with the tightest Premier League defence in Premier League history. Are we going to beat that? Do you know what? I don't really care about results. Just want to win. Just want to win the trophy. Talking of trophies, so after the Fulham game, the games are going to come thick and fast. I know you guys love to hear that, but it is, of course, Atletico Madrid Champions League game under the lights. Arsenal of England versus Atletico Madrid of Spain. And Diego Simeone, a manager who I really liked pre Unai Emery, someone that I would have loved to have seen in the dugout. Mikel Arteta has been very complimentary about him today in the press conference, saying that should he come to England, he would be a very, very successful and competent manager. He's got a great track record at Atletico Madrid. They are very much the underdogs in La Liga, going head-to-head against Real Madrid and Barcelona over the years. Not many trophies to show for it, but he's been successful with all they have, and he is adored by the Madrid fans. I think this is going to be just a third meeting between the two sides. Diego Simeone obviously trying to finally add a Champions League trophy to his long list of honours and the club's long list of honours. They've had 3 defeats in the final. Let's not forget that. It is a tasty fixture, I think. And I think it's going to be one more of those sort of tactical battles, maybe like a game of chess. We're not quite sure how it's going to go, but there's going to be a lot of respect between the two sides. Both teams are going to try and, prevent the ball from going into the back of the net more than any other week, because that is just how both teams are set up. But Atletico Madrid, look, they're a long-standing, big club of Spanish football, based obviously in the Spanish capital. They have won La Liga trophies. They've won domestic cup competitions. Obviously, the Champions League not on their honours list. Diego Simeone has been in charge of Atletico Madrid now for 14 years. So, I don't know how much more he's got in the tank at that club. He is a character that I would have loved to have seen in the Premier League, but it's not happened just yet. What else? Where did they... I don't even know where they finished last season. Where did they finish last season? Can you guys remember? I mean, I know they're always sort of in and around the sort of title sort of competition. They went on some crazy run last season, didn't they? Where they sort of won 14 games on the spin. And they were top of the table, but unfortunately they, in the end, lost a few games and ended up finishing, I think it was third, 12 points behind Barcelona, 8 or 10 points behind Real Madrid. So, look, he wants to go again. He's adamant to win it with this team. And as a non-Real Madrid, non-Barcelona fan, it'd be nice to see one of these, a club like this win it, but we'll see. 433 says, Arteta versus Simeone, one for the ages. Good evening to you, Ambil38. Hope you've had a good day. Third indeed. Yeah, they did finish third. Lots of people in the chat correcting me that now. Awais, welcome, says Atletico Madrid not happy that there was no hot water at the Emirates today. The players had to go back to the hotel without having a bath. Is that true? Is this mind games? Is this Mikel Arteta and the fine details? It wouldn't bloody surprise me, let me be honest. And he says, get ready for a feisty game. Let's take a look at Atletico Madrid. Like I say, Diego Simeone, I love the intense pictures. He's a manager that I loved, a manager I would have loved at Arsenal post Arsene Wenger. Very, very different style, of course, but given his history with this underdog of team in La Liga, it seemed like the sort of character that I would have loved. But there we are. Listen, he is at Atletico, and they've had a decent start to the season so far. Surprise, surprise, Real Madrid, top of the league, played 9, won 8, lost 1. Barcelona are in second place. Villarreal are in third, and Atletico Madrid, there you can see, just in fourth place on goal difference over Real Betis. I'm not sure they're expecting to compete for the title. I think Real Madrid now, every year they seem to be adding to their squad. Every year they seem to be getting stronger. And post Ancelotti, they're not going to sort of give up at all. Barcelona obviously in the title mix for last season, and they will be in the title mix again this season. Maybe this is a bridge too far, but Atletico Madrid played 9, won 4, drawn 4, and lost 1. A lot of draws. Wouldn't surprise me if tomorrow the spoils were shared, but 16 goals scored in 19 league games this season. They've conceded 10, higher than usual. Defensively, they're normally very strong, and they have a goal difference of 6, and that is how things stand in La Liga. Their form guide, our form guide, looking at our last 5 games, as you can see, ours on the left-hand side, courtesy of the BBC. Port Vale, obviously, in the Carabobbins Cup, which was great, and then we had the 3 really impressive back-to-back wins in the Premier League. Newcastle United away. That last gasp, Gabriel Magalhaes header from the corner. Do you remember that? How good did that feel? West Ham United at home at the Emirates. Saka soaring his 100th goal and assist contribution in 200 games. That was a real milestone for him in the Premier League. And then, of course, the 1-0 win that we've just seen on Saturday, beating Fulham through Leandro Trossard's set-piece goal. Atletico Madrid, on the other hand, they're in decent form. I mean, look at the fixture down at the bottom right. They pumped Real Madrid 5-2. 5-2. Julio Alvarez, obviously the danger man for them in that game. They then beat Eintracht Frankfurt, a Hugo Ekitike-less Eintracht Frankfurt, 5-1. That, of course, was at home as well. And then they drew a couple of games, Celta Vigo and Inter Milan, who are very, very difficult in the Champions League. They showed that with their run to the final last year. And just over the weekend, they beat Osasuna by 1-0. So look, they're in good nick. They're unbeaten in 5. They've only lost 1 domestic game in the league all season. They're going to be very, very difficult to beat. We're going to come on to lineup in just a second. So let me go to the chat again. Phoenix says Atletico are missing De Paul. Alvarez is the only player I'm worried about. Scores free kicks, all-round player, rest, no worries. I'm not quite as confident as you. I think a draw is probably the most likely result, but Julio Alvarez is a top player. I loved him when he was at City. In fact, he was a player that I would have loved Arsenal to have pushed the boundaries for pre-Victor Gyökeres, maybe even sort of pre-Kai Havertz. He was a really, really talented player. Looks very settled in Madrid, and I think he's going to be a danger tomorrow. Amble says, we had no hot waters today either. Not sure we can blame the Emirates on Hackney Council, though. Yeah, no, absolutely right. Anajit says, very interesting to see how Arteta approaches this game. Eager for Nkapie. Yeah, we're going to come on to the Gaffer's press conference in just a second. And Daniel's asking what our lineups would be. Hold my latte. We will come on to that as well. Michael says, Atleti were really bad for the first few games. In recent weeks, they've arguably been the best team in La Liga. Well, there you go. I can't tell you that I watch Atletico Madrid week in, week out. I don't really know the quality of the domestic competition, and I certainly can't compare them to others. But Michael, if you are better placed than I am, and that is the truth, then obviously that is a bit of a concern, because we just want to walk over, to be honest. We don't want these top teams coming to the Emirates and distracting us. 433 says, why are Atleti playing a friendly in the middle of the season? Mate, I don't know. Is there a friendly in the middle of the season? Oh, yeah, mate, it wasn't even the Champions League. I thought it was Champions League, BBC. Yeah, so obviously a friendly against Inter Milan. Was that one of those just go overseas for like a weekend and make 20 million quid type thing? I don't know. Atletico's last starting 11. So this was the game over Osasuna. That's the squad on the left-hand side that Atletico and Diego Simeone are bringing to England. A number of hugely talented players there, as you can see, all the way from in goal, John Oblak, legendary goalkeeper. Everybody knows what he's about. Interestingly, they play, depending on what website you sort of follow, 3 at the back, 5 at the back, the 2 wing backs, Gonzalez and Llorente. Although Giuliano Simeone came on at left back. He, of course, is Diego Simeone's son, another player to watch out for. They're so good defensively. And in the center of the park, Koke just, pulling the strings, doing what he does, Barrios and Baena, and Griezmann, who seems to be around for a long, long time. He's still doing bits, Antoine Griezmann. He's still up top. He's very, very talented and obviously a very dangerous player. And Julio Alvarez, as a number of you have mentioned in the chat, their biggest threat. So, look, they're a tough team. They're workhorses. They are going to play a very low mid block that's going to try and stifle us. They'll try and get us on the break. They are also technically so good on the ball. They can play. It's not going to be one of those teams like Fulham, weirdly enough, playing 3 at the back and trying to get us on the counter-attack. They will try and play their football and they will try and lay one on us. I think it's really important that we don't play the occasion, that we just go about our business, start well, and maybe hit them with that sort of intensity. Conor Gallagher obviously didn't play at the weekend for Atletico Madrid. I expect he will come in to their side. He, of course, from Chelsea. They love him out there. They love a workhorse out there. They love Conor Gallagher, and he's doing really, really well. Daniel says Barrios is a very talented player. Nico Gonzalez, Asif says, is top as well. And good news. Thank you so much. Good to see you as always. Good to see you, my friend. We need to be clinical. I think this is a good point. We're not going to get too many chances tomorrow. And I think when the chances come, you got to go for the kill. I don't know if it's going to be Victor Gyökeres up top. I certainly hope so. Maybe if he gets a whiff, who knows? If not, it's probably going to be the star man, isn't it? Bukayo Saka. But we'll come on to line up in just a second. I'd quite like a change at left side, and I'll tell you why shortly. So look, that's the Atletico Madrid team from the weekend. That's the squad that they are bringing. They are in fine form, and they are going to be well up for it. Make no mistake. Right, let me know in the chat what changes you would make to the Arsenal lineup. This is the lineup that we had, of course, on Saturday against Fulham. And as you can see, courtesy of PremierLeague.com, David Raya in goal, Timber Saliba, Magalhaes, and Ricky Calafiori, with Eze, Zubimendi and Rice, Saka, Gyökeres, and Leo Trossard out on the left-hand side. So very, very... one change, I think it was, to the previous game that we'd played. I think there's going to be changes tomorrow. And the change that I'd like to see is down that left-hand side. I think Trossard's done brilliant let's not be too harsh on Leandro Trossard. I think he's done really well. He scored, obviously, the winner at the weekend, and it'd be very harsh for him to miss out. But I'd like to see a bit of a change. And now that we know that Piero Hincapié is in training, maybe this is going to be a complete change on that left-hand side. So Mikel Arteta was talking to the press conference early today. He talked about Piero Hincapié finally being available. Arteta explained that he wasn't in the squad against Fulham because it was just a bit too soon for him. I think Arteta also said that he loves the initiative that players are showing in training. The video was shared on social media. William Saliba watching Atletico Madrid on the coach after winning at Craven Cottage. I'm very pleased, he said. I didn't encourage it. That came from them. So the players watching Atletico Madrid on the coach back from Craven Cottage, which is fantastic. Mikel Arteta talked about the Premier League title race. He was asked whether we're favourites after we extended our lead at the top of the table to 3 points. And he was just talking about he loves the energy, loves the temperature, loves the quality. Gives me conviction that we can go all the way, and hopefully we will. He talked about the team showing a different level of maturity this season, and that we carry a threat, carry conviction. Well, it's going to be interesting to see how we can deliver on those fronts in the biggest games, and one is tomorrow, of course. But we've got to maintain it for the next 30 games, and that is literally where we are. We're only 8 games in, and that is the biggest challenge. He also then obviously closed by saying Atletico Simeone. You may as well be Atletico Simeone. Diego Simeone is someone that he looks up to. He's still got that capacity to transmit a willingness to win. They grind out results. They work so hard. They will leave nothing on that pitch, and he's, of course, been there 14 years. So, look, in terms of lineup, I'd like to see David Raya keep his position in goal. I would like to see maybe Ben White coming in at right back. That would be quite interesting, just to give Jurrien Timber a little bit of time out, or maybe he gets the rest at the weekend. We've got Crystal Palace this weekend, of course. Saliba and Gabriel, I would expect them both to start. It's a big game. Why not? And Calafiori, who's been playing ever present, played for Italy as well. Maybe this is the game that he misses out and sort of just sits on the bench to manage his load. Does Miles Lewis-Skelly come in? Does Piero Hincapié come in to see his debut? Would you like to see Piero Hincapié make his debut? Let me know in the chat. Let me know what you think. In midfield, I think we're going to see Eberechi Eze make his competitive Champions League debut at home under the lights against Atletico Madrid. Yeah, that would be his debut, wouldn't it? Or did he play in the last Champions League game? Did he start the last Champions League game? Can't even remember. I should be better prepared. Zubimendi and Rice. Can't see that changing. Christian Norgard will be knocking on the door. Mikel Merino will be knocking on the door. I'm not sure, though. I think it's got to be Rice, Zubimendi and Eze. That's got to be the middle three. Up top, though, Saka, Gyökeres, and I would go Martinelli. What do you think in the chat? Let me know. Guna73, Dave says Hincapié looks like a bit of a unit. He does indeed. Misunderstood Ninja says Leo Trossard out, Martinelli in. I would agree with that. Pato says no changes at all. Kelly says Ranieri is potential future Ballon d'Or winner. Got to play him more. Look, I think his time will come. Though I think with Noni Madueke now closing in on fitness, he might have to wait just a little bit longer. But that's not a problem. He's a young boy. Let him take his time. This is not the game, says Amberl, to give Ranieri a start as much as I love the kid. Daniel's given me his full 11. Raya, White, Saliba, Gabi, Calafiori, Zubimendi, Rice, Ethan, Saka, Marino, and Martinelli. Surely not Marino down the middle at number 9. Surely not Daniel. It's got to be Victor Gyökeres. Wouldn't be surprised to see Mikel Merino start, says Pato. You and me both, mate. The whole sort of Spanish link, who knows? Henkaho says a win tomorrow, please. Let's show the world why the bookies think we are favourites. Are we favourites for the Champions League? Really? Interesting. Flipdog, welcome to the show. All evening, FK. I'm hoping that we'll see a more direct Arsenal. We've gained confidence to impose our game plan at any ground. I think you're right. And are we going to see Norgard start, says Misunderstood Ninja? I don't think so. I think he'll probably get some minutes off the bench again. He might start at the weekend against Palace. Honestly, I think Mikel is going to start rotating players. He probably wants to get the first 10 dozen games out of the way, get towards sort of November, and then start keeping things fresh ahead of the festive season, because the festive season is obviously games thick and fast. Flipdog's come back saying, not my preference, but I think Arteta will pick Raya, Timber, Saliba, Gabi. Hang on a second, you missed out a player. Timber, Saliba, Gabby. Who's your left back? Not sure. Zubamendi, Rice, Marino, Saka, Gyökeres, and Leo Trossard. Let me know your left back there, Flipdoc. Mikel will rotate next week. Oh, yeah, Brighton, says O'Malley says. And Henke says Arsenal are favourites to win the Premier League and the Champions League. No pressure. No pressure. So what do you reckon the score is going to be? Flipdoc says he missed Calafiori. So look, that's what I think is going to happen. I'd like to see Piero Hincapié at left back or potentially Miles Lewis-Skelly. I'd like to see Martinelli out on the left-hand side. I can't see us making too many more changes than that. I think Atletico Madrid is a tough fixture. It's a home fixture. We've got to get the points on the board. Let's not forget now, the higher that you end up in that top 8 in this year's competition, the more chance of you having a return leg at home in the knockout rounds. And of course, if you finish in the top 8, then you don't have to play that qualification game. So that is what I think will happen. I think Arteta will go strong, maybe just 1 or 2 changes, maybe not, maybe none. Maybe Mikel just goes with the same team and thinks about freshening things up on Saturday against Palace, which of course is 4 days after tomorrow's game. What do I think is going to happen in terms of score? It wouldn't surprise me if it was a goalless draw, maybe a 1-1 tomorrow. I think we can sneak it. I think if we score first, I think we can hold out and maybe win 1-0. I think if they score first, I think we have enough to get back into the game 1-1. So look, worst case scenario, a score draw, but I think it could be 1-0 to the Arsenal. Let me know what you guys think. Mike says, I'd take a 2. Mate, I'd take any win, obviously. But is that what you think is going to happen? Mohammed says 2-1 to the Arsenal. Amber says, I think it's going to be a tight one. Hopefully a win for us. Pato says 2-0 would be great. Okay with 1-0. I'd be delighted with 1-0. Flipdoc says 1-0 to the Arsenal. I feel it in my bones. There you go. And Hussam says we've got to look out for their counters. Very dangerous, as we have seen when they played Liverpool in the Champions League. And Mike's going Marino brace. Some things are just inevitable. You just can't beat that guy. I think we're going to leave it there. Flipdoc says 2 defensively solid teams. I'll take 1 moment of world class to break the deadlock. It probably will. Do you know what? I really hope it's Victor Gyökeres. I really do. He just needs that goal. Ladies and gents, thanks so much for tuning in. Really appreciate it. I know it's a Monday night. We obviously have Atletico Madrid now at the Emirates Stadium tomorrow. There'll be a match reaction video once I get in. And then Wednesday, I fly away for a few days. So I will not be back. I'll be missing out to Crystal Palace. But congratulations to Tim Thotti on the Patreon chat. He is taking his boy to watch Crystal Palace, sitting in my seat this weekend. I hope you have a fantastic time with your son and Fila. I hope you have a happy 15th birthday. There were some tickets on the Patreon group chat, always at face value. Please don't hesitate in signing up to support the channel. Patreon.com/LatteFirm for access to match tickets. YouTube channel members, you guys are superb as well. Really, really appreciate all of you guys for supporting the channel. I refuse to work with betting companies. They do some awful things to some very vulnerable people, and the financial support is gratefully received and comes in very handy in the growth of the channel. We will leave it there. Look after yourselves. Enjoy the game. Enjoy the game tomorrow. It's going to be a great game. The Champions League is back, and let's see how we go. Until tomorrow, bye for now.